Hello everybody, I am AngryBird. So here we are, Brawl on Brest, semi-final number 2. Who do we have playing? We've got me, AngryBird versus Shaun. So this is probably going to be my absolute biggest test in Steel Division yet. Taking on what is arguably one of the top 2 players in the world at Steel Division 2. And this is coming from myself in lowly Group 3 of Steel Division League at the moment. But I think I've proved in the game against Amber T I can still mix it with those. Well, when I say mix it, I can kind of get a messy victory against those at the top somehow. So potentially, maybe if I'm, well, not even if I'm playing amazing. Maybe if Shaun has a bad day, we might see a victory. But let's see. We are playing the 29th Guards Tank Corps. We're playing Vanguard Income. And I think Shaun, maybe he didn't ban the 29th Guards Tank Corps, and I was very happy because I happen to really like this division. I think, obviously, I think the 3rd Guards Tank Corps certainly has the advantage, I think, with the Emchers. But do not underestimate the T-34s and the IS-2 combination of the 29th Guards Tank Corps. I have loved this division from the very start of Steel Division 2. So I was very happy that Shaun didn't ban this, and I felt that that would stand me in a reasonable stead. What I would say is, don't necessarily copy what you see in my divisions. I don't think these are generally fantastic divisions to pick. Oh, sorry, I don't think I produce a fantastic division. And it's interesting, I guess. So I think things to pick out, we've got the IS-2. Oh, in fact, very rare to see this. IS-2 Conrotti and IS-2 1943, both in A phase. So 2 IS-2s in A phase. And then 3 IS-2s in B phase. Very strange for the 29th Guards Tank Corps. I happen to like the absolute pressure double IS-2 provides. And if you've quite seen it, both of them placed down. One here and one here. So double IS-2 start. Very rare to see. And we're going to be relying on those IS-2s as well as the T-34s. And a hell of a lot more to try and get the victory against Shaun. He is playing the first Ski Jaeger, and you do not see first Ski Jaeger in this game very often. So I said to Shaun at the time, I was pleased he was picking this because it's nice to see the Ski Jaeger in action. He is a self-confessed balanced only player, so unsurprising to see him playing balanced once again. We're going to try and push him from the very start in A phase with that double IS-2 pressure, and really the Ski Jaeger is going to find it difficult to penetrate those IS-2s. They do have the Pack 40s, they have the Marder 1s, but they're coming in late in B and C phase. No real anti-tank planes, potentially a mistake from Shaun. Do they get a cluster plane? I cannot remember actually whether they get an anti-tank plane. You'll have to mention it in the comments if they do. So he's going to find it really difficult to penetrate those IS-2s. He's going to have to find a way, or he's going to have to rely on mistakes from myself. We've actually moved the IS-2s into the southern section from where we had them. In terms of the remaining Ski Jaegers, very strong infantry, or, well, it's not extremely strong. 78 Sturm clearly outbeats it in the infantry stakes, but strong in comparison to most divisions. It does have strong infantry. It has T-34 85s in A, but only 4 of them. And then it relies on a hell of a lot of Stugs and a lot of T-34 42s in C phase. 18 of them, if I'm reading this right. And look forward to seeing the Sturmpanzer KV2, the captured Russian Sturmpanzer KV2. That is something that can certainly penetrate those IS-2s. So it will be good to see that one out on the field. In terms of their anti-air, they get a hell of a lot of SDKFZ-72s and a nice air force with it. 3 Dornier 217J1s. They're nice ground attack planes, as well as the ME-109 G6s and ME-109 G6R4s. There is no way the 29th Guards Tank Corps is going to win a dogfight against all of those fighters. So it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. I mean, I do know how it plays out. I am playing on the left hand side in red, and if we see the deployment, Shaun setting up a fairly defensive line, going slightly attacking in this central area here, but kind of fairly defensive elsewhere. If we look at me, 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry units covering the entire 5 infantry units covering the entire northern side of the flag, and then absolutely everything else down south. We've got Ognomachikis completely overrunning the Ski Jaeger defense, and well, we unload quite a few of them there, and I think actually I should have left plenty not unloaded. We do continue the push forwards with further Ognomachikis. The ones we unloaded were pushing actually back towards our own lines to try and take out these Ski Jaegers. We're pushing forwards with Strelkys. We've surrendered the rest of Shaun's units here. There's only the Pak 36 37mm left to stand in our way, and look at the absolute territory grab that we've made in this early part of the game. Shaun rushing in Ski Jaegers to defend this southern sound, but we're going to push all the way up to the rearmost flag with these Ognomachikis. And can we push forward there also with the Strelkys? We're taking an early 15-9 lead, and now we've got the advantage. The IS-2s pushing forwards as well, but one thing we have to be aware of is the Pak 36 37mm does have the penetration, although only on the 37mm heat shells with 800 meter range. So as long as we stay out of that range, we'll be okay. The IS-2 slowly pushing forwards there in the northern side. I was well aware of the Ski Jaeger's infantry capability, and I did not want to engage on this northern area. So really all I've got is Sapere defending. Shaun pushing forwards with the Sturm Fusiliers, the Sturm Ski Jaegers, the Ski Jaeger Pioneers, all along with a Battery Führer, and he is going to overwhelm this northern side. Brings it back to a 12-12, but we certainly made a dent in this southern side, and IS-2s now fast moving down into positions. We've got to worry about this Pak 36 37mm. Could get a nice shot here, but we have got the Strelky advancing forwards, and they should just, I think, identify, yes they do just identify that Pak 36 37mm in time, and woof, very lucky to kill that one. The IS-2's advancing now. We're putting them into very forward positions. I'm trying to get them in place to shut down this supply route and really give me a grasp on this northern side. In the southern side. The northern area, we've realised we're very weak. We can see Shaun pushing through with infantry. We just want to contain this, and so we're pushing in Strelky units in the M2 half tracks just to try and recapture these flags and hold off the push from Shaun. We don't really want to attack there. We cannot win out infantry for infantry. We just want to stem the tide. Back to a 13-11. T-34s rushing forwards into this central town, and only the Ski Jaeger really there to protect them. We do see an early Sturm Panzer KV2, and that could certainly take out one of the 2 IS-2s we've got here. We're using them in tandem, pushing them very far forward, and potentially, you know, the double IS-2 here could prove really difficult for Shaun to penetrate, and that's what we're going to rely on. The Ognomachikis slowly going to make their way up. Shaun now holds this northern flag, and really there isn't enough quite to contest with the number of Ski Jaegers there. The Sturm Panzer is gonna fire down that road, and they pack a massive punch. The HE shells, 7 damage apiece, from the M10T 152mm gun, but the IS-2 Comrotti's absolutely trucking it down the road into a position here to, you know, cut off the spawn. In comes a T-34-85, but that's going to have to turn off the road into the forest. And the second IS-2 1943 coming in to this more central ground. I'm trying to cut off the spawn here as well. And very ambitious plays, a Pak 36-37 or two of them coming into that central area. Going to contest up against those IS-2s. And we've got the Strelky pushing forwards. The T-34s came in to reinforce, but we kept them just outside the city. Shaun kept his units on hold fire. We have now revealed the Skijager MG42, and the T-34s will attack from range and should really overpower that stage. We're rushing in a hell of a lot of Tanko Desanikis behind a hell of a lot of Strelky, and spawning in a hell of a lot of Strelky for this southern side, trying to just maintain fire. Wow, look at this. We've got a Pak 36-37mm engaging at the 800-meter range with its rockets. Tracks broken down onto the IS-2. Will he get another chance? Yes, it will. And there it goes, destroying the IS-2 with those 37mm heat shells. Shaun wisely turning off the 37mm AP shells so it doesn't use those. What a play by Shaun. Absolutely beautiful. Taking out that IS-2, it was in a very vulnerable position. Could have even been rear shot by this second Pak 36-37. The Sturmpanzer engaging the IS-2 Comrotti, but we've got two Panzerschrecks moving down the road as well, and this could be a double hit for Shaun. The IS-2 Comrotti's turning frontal armour. The side shot comes in from the Panzerschreck. Shoot to kill. Can we reverse in time? No. The second Panzerschreck comes in. Two IS-2s down in what? Less than a minute. And 6 minutes into this game, both IS-2s lost from the field. Wow, that is a major victory for Shaun in this early part of the game, and such a loss for myself losing those IS-2s. But we're still on the advance. Strelky pushing forwards, doing load, seeing these Skijagers coming in down the road, and potentially just reversing back there. We've got T-34 76ers coming in, as well as that whole train of Tanko Desanikis. We're pushing forwards for this second compound further up. That Pak 36-37mm is in a nice position again. Potentially we could do this. Shaun has the AP shells turned off. He's looking for a heat shell attack, but I think that's the mistake now. The two IS-2s have gone down. The Panzer T-34-85 rushing up the road. The Tanko Desanikis get into range. And are we going to win this one out? The two Sturm, or the Sturm Skijager and the Skijagers, they are going to be decent units. Yeah, a full lot of surrenders come in with the fire from the Panzer T-34-85 at the back. But the Tanko Desanikis do get into this heavy forest, and they should be able to take down the MG42 and the Pak 36-37. It's just whether we can continue the assault on this second rear compound. In terms of in the north, Shaun has made some decent progress, but we've actually gained back these two flags just through sheer use of numbers, really, I think. Strelky are currently outnumbered, but Sapper is coming in to reinforce this position. On the northern side, we've kind of managed to overwhelm Shaun's infantry with a number of Strelky units, but we are coming up on the end of Phase A, and potentially we could start to lose our economic advantage. We've got nothing in this compound back here, which is losing us a flag. We are still at the 14-10, and I'm pretty happy with this. Against Shaun, a 14-10 up in A phase, I am pretty happy with this. Strelky, we've lost this central compound, but a number of them coming in now. We do need to make sure they unload in time. Oof, just lose that one. I think they were just about to unload, but we just lost them before they could come in. Are we going to win this position? I think we've lost two infantry units there before they've unloaded, but the OB-25s at the rear I think will help us out. One of the units, Strelky's pinned down. We've got another one just in there. I think we're going to lose two surrenders here potentially. Down goes one, there goes the other, but we still got two Strelky's in reserve, and I think we're going to pick up the win here against the two Skijagers. We've lost a number of Strelky in that attack, but overall the numbers advantage going to me in the early phase. We are just managing to hold on. I think in this northern side, the Strokey is just containing that flag. This sort of central northern side, I think potentially the Sapper's in trouble. We should be able to defeat the Sturmski-Jäger here, and potentially, actually, we may hold this flag with only the Ski Sturm Fusilier as recon units, especially with them out in the open. I think we could win this one. And is this flag going to switch back to myself? No, not quite. We need an infantry unit coming in there to get that flag. We've got a P39N Cobra now on the field with the rockets coming in on the battery Führer. Pinned down. Fire coming from the Strokey, and we're actually having to make our way back to our own lines to pick up this pocket of infantry. The T-34s pushing across open ground. And at the moment, nothing really standing in their way. The M10s also coming forwards and attacking the infantry, but our own infantry goes down there to the Sturmski-Jäger. And we have, however, managed to surround with the battery Führer pinned down. I'd have liked to have seen the tanks come across to pick up the surrenders, but I think the infantry will eventually do the job and pick up those surrenders. But we do see the Dornier 217s come in. Now we've got the more reinforcing Strokey spawning in. Eventually the Sturmski Fusiliers did win out. They are very good units with the 10 MP44s. Fantastic units, especially 3 stars upvetted by the Commandant and the Battery Führer. They're going to destroy a hell of a lot of infantry. And the Sturmski-Jägers here, they're under threat from the 2 Strokeys. The Battery Führer pushing away from the tanks. But I think, yeah, we got that one pinned down. The tanks are moving forward. Surely we'll get the surrender now. Yes, we do. I know the area comes fully under my control, although we did not manage to push into this northern town. Potentially another push coming through there. We could make it through. Still got the 1311. Shaun will be happy with that. Ending Phase A, coming into Phase B, and Shaun now has the income advantage right the way to the end of the game. So holding me at a 13-11, I was about to say was good there, but immediately switching to a 15-9. 11 minutes left for Shaun to stabilise this game and win out, and potentially at the moment we could see a major upset on the cards. Absolute masses of Strokey DP pushing in, but the Dornier 217 certainly free reign over the battlefield right now. No anti-air on my side, none at all on the entire map, and that Dornier 217 is taking full advantage. We've got a Stub 3G, but that's faced up against what I think that's 4 M10s as well as a T-34 in there. More M10s on the way in. Shooter killed, and that one's retreating. And the Pak 36-37 is moving forward though. Could well get into that 800 meter range once again with those rockets. We're just managing to hold this flag, probably due to the fact that these 2 Sturms Fusiliers are recon units. Somehow we're just holding on to this northern sector, and I think I'm pushing through now. I'm trying to look for the surround, but that will not happen with the Battery Führer here. He will hold the front line open. We do manage to take out one of the Sturm Fusiliers. And potentially, I think, with another rocket strike, they could be under threat. 2 M42 guns coming in now, reacting to their Panzer T-34-85. And we've made a land grab. We've certainly made a heavy land grab. We are 16-8 up against Shaun. I'm going to take that as a major advantage right now at this point. Shaun is going to lose the game in less than 10 minutes time. He has to stabilise. Otherwise, he's not going to make it to his biggest income advantage, you know, midway through Phase C. But a number of these M10s still facing off against the Stug 3G. Not quite getting the look here. And another Panzer T-34 coming in. The Pak 36-37 mil is making its way into the ranges to use 2 of the rockets. And I believe is being fairly successful at this 800 meter range. Another one coming in against the T-34-76, and what beautiful play to move these Pak 36-37s into the 800 meter range and get those rocket kills off. Absolutely beautiful to watch. We have finally managed to push back the battery Führer. We're pushing forwards, trying to reach the surrender, but the ski stern Fusiliers, they are still not to be trifled with, and I feel like they're going to destroy this Strelky DP once they are revealed. More Tanko Disaniki comes in. The battery Führer goes down. The Cobra coming in to attack the Ski Jäger further back, and just cementing control of this northern side for now. We've pushed forwards. We're still at a 15-9, 8 minutes left on the clock for Shaun to stabilise this game, although a hell of a lot of these tank units in this central ground have gone down. They are trying to attack the Pack 36-37, but it is not fantastic choice to do that, and Shaun has re-engaged the AP shells, so we'll be able to engage at the longer distance of 2,000 meters, but only has the 65 millimeters of penetration. He knows the pack gun's been discovered, so he is trying to, you know, at all costs destroy as many M10s as he can before that pack gun goes down. And actually he's done a very successful job here. We had about 8 M10s and T34s in this position, and we're down to really one that's effective on this front line. The Ski Stern Fusilier have managed to kill off the Strelky DP, and we've reallocated those Tanko Desaniki forwards to the front line. Hopefully they won't get destroyed by the Ski Stern Fusiliers. We've not pushed back into this northern side, and Shaun has actually destroyed the infantry here. We've got 1 unit of Strelky, 152p and an M42 gun currently holding this entire southern side as we've switched our entire focus to the northern side. The Ski Jäger should go down in the face of 3 Strelky DPs, but Shaun has managed to bring in a hell of a lot of Sturm Ski Jäger into this very northern position, so should retake this northern flag. But the Tanko Disanik is again pushing forwards here. The MG42s, I think, were just about to unload. They have been unloaded in the open ground, and I think that was a mistake on my part. We could have taken them forwards there, and should have taken those forwards there. But the M2A1s, you know, we're pushing them forwards. We're just trying to surround the troops here and pick up flags. And we're still at a 15-9. If we can just hold this for the moment, we are we were 7 minutes away from victory. Shaun pulling it back to a 14-10. And he's put himself double the amount of time back on the clock. These Ski Jäger Pioneers push right the way down in the southern side, picking up this flag. And look at the territory swing. I think Shaun, surely, I'm surprised he did not unload these Ski Jäger Pioneers. Very interesting. He pushed them down there and then didn't unload, but he's pushing them further forward once again for more attacks. The Cobra coming in. I'm desperately trying to stop the Sturm Ski Jäger from discovering the M42 45mm. More Cobra attacks targeting the command structure of the Ski Jägers. The Dorniers coming in, and this time targeting up on the M2A1s. But will the Panzerschreck get the chance to get the kill first? Just one man trucking his way across. Will he get into range? Oof, just there. Went down on his knee to fire the Panzerschreck. Did get killed, but the 2 Dornier 217s come in and do the job. Shaun having to bring his Ski Jägers back to recover the territory there. Does so. And with the surround coming in here, actually, Shaun picks up the 13-11. 2 flags down here on the southern side. Another flag here. And wow, we are now 14-10 down. What an absolute swing. 18 minutes into the game. It was barely a moment ago I was celebrating the 16-8 against Shaun. And we're now 14-10 down. And IS-2 coming into this central position. And I mentioned this in a game the other day, this beautiful position, just firing down on this support road. Lovely position to get an IS-2 in, but Shaun is now advancing forwards with the Ski Jäger Pioneers, and really he has stemmed the tide. He has the income advantage, and a quick recovery from 16-8 to 14-10, and but really, when he's seeing this swing down south, you have to now suggest, especially looking the number of units. I mean, further north it doesn't look too bad, but when you look at the disparity of units down south, we really did push as hard as we can and potentially lost a hell of a lot of units in that attack. Even the northern side now, we've a couple of units got surrendered there. We're looking completely overwhelmed, and this, I think, is looking to become an absolute rout any moment now. 59 now in favour of Shaun. He has 15 minutes left to maintain this for the victory, and I myself am desperately trying to pull my way back into this game from what was a winning position. The IS-2 engaging the Jaeger Pioneers from distance, but it's not really what you want your IS-2 doing. You want that destroying armour, not necessarily destroying infantry. So down south we have a rampaging T-34 41 Fuhrer, and that's going to sit himself in a nice position here. We have reacted. I did see that come in. We've reacted with a ZIS-2 gun, but before that could come down here, the T-34 has got himself into a nice position. We're also bringing an M45 gun, and potentially that T-34 could sit himself there for a nice period of time. The Dornier 217 coming in, providing an overwatch to this southern side. Shots recognised. Still absolutely no anti-air on my side. And look at this ski stern fusilier. Look how far forward this is. Shaun is just using this, pushing through, and eventually I would think he'll get himself down here, or potentially on this situation here. So any reinforcements going down this road will have them to deal with. The IS-2 is now going to tackle with the T-34-85, but at range I feel like the IS-2 is definitely going to win out in this battle. We have a Pack 40 slowly making its way into position, and he's going to provide a nice area to side shot if we continue to push that IS-2 down this road. Look at this position that the Pack 40 will take up to side shot that, and Shaun moving the Panzer T-34, and we are going to fall into this Pack 40 side shot trap being laid for me. Sappery's coming in to recover this southern side, but no anti-tank on the side of the Sapperies. They're going to find it difficult dealing with the Panzer T-34 Fuhrer. We've lost this central flag, our troops in the very centre under a mammoth attack to recover this central town. 17-7 down now. There's 13 minutes left on the clock, and I'm not sure we're going to recover from this one. The IS-2 still potentially in the region to take out that T-34, but the T-34 escapes again for now. And look at the territory Shaun has managed to capture with the 3 Ski Jaeger units here. They are going to take out the Strelky DP, and the Sappery are going to come in, but I feel like they might go down to this Geese Stern Fusilier. We are re-microing that into a different position, but a hell of a lot of flags being lost on this southern side. We have the T-34-85 Reshetnikov coming in, and let's take a look at the leader T-34-85 skin of the 29th Guards Tank Corps. Beautiful custom skin there. I absolutely love these ace skins. And the IS-2 pushing forwards. It's in the danger zone. I hear Maverick calling. It does somehow face frontally to the Pack 40, but it's taking shots from the Pack 36-37 and the Stug 3G with the side shot. Gets the ammo explosion. Down goes the IS-2. Shaun, I think, foreseeing that, spawning in an absolute ton of Ski Jaegers. He sees this match is absolutely in his grasp. 18-6 now. Reversed for Shaun. 5 minutes left on the clock. We've gone from an 18-6 to AngryBird to an 18-6 to Shaun. And wow, just look at the infantry reserves coming in compared to just the number of units left on my side. We have finally located the Panzer T-34-41. We're bringing an M42 gun and we're just going to push it right up to the front line to try and get rid of that kill. I can't really push forwards with any infantry while that T-34 is there. So an excellent position from Shaun. The T-34-85 Reshetnikov just shooting down the road and targeting the ski Jaegers in their transports. But we'll only get a few kills. The M42 45mm potentially taking shots as well. The T-34-85 shooting at Sapri at range. The Dornier coming in to hit the 52p there. We're even pushing the ZIS-2 gun up to try and get the kill of that T-34. We need that T-34 to go down because we have no AT on our infantry. We're having to bring in the specialist units, and finally, wow, the LA 5FN comes onto the field to provide some final... Goose comes onto the field to provide some anti-air, at least in the form of a fighter. We've got 2P3N Cobras, potentially going to re-micro them for rocket strikes, but we're 17-7 down, and there's no comeback from this situation. 8 minutes left on the clock, and it's only a matter of time really before Shaun finishes me off in this game. We do get the gun jam on the Panzer T-34, so we are able to push the Sapri through and get the surrender. Potentially the ZIS-2 might just finish it off, or it's going to reverse somehow out of line of sight right on the edge of that map, and finally we're able to push infantry forwards. The LA 5FN, I thought that was going to be... Oh, potentially was going to look for the strafing run. The T-34-85, at least in a decent position to provide fire support, but really, for us to recover this game, I think we are correctly targeting this southern area. We can make some ground here, but I would think that Shaun will reinforce this before we get anywhere close to picking up enough flags to turn this game around. I mean, we would need to be up here, really, to turn this game around from where we are on the northern side. Just an overwhelming amount of ski Jaeger infantry, and I feel like there's another 2 flags here, another flag here, and another flag here that could well go down. I mean, this could be an absolute entire rout from Shaun. He may well be able to get every single flag on this map. This could be fantastic. Back up to an 18-6 for Shaun. 2 minutes or 3 minutes left on the clock. Will this ski stern fusilier finally go down? They've been on the map from the very start of this game, and I feel like they're still going to survive this. Will they go down? We're pushing to try and get the... Finally we take out the ski stern fusilier. Small victories. We have to celebrate the small victories. We are reinforcing the central side, so at least we're not, I think, under threat of losing every flag in this game. But we've kind of bypassed the tank. It's gun jammed. He can't do anything right now, so we're just happy to bypass. We're moving back into this southern side. There's 2 SDKFZ-72s coming in after the kind of LA strafing runs and the consistent Cobra attacks. But actually in the southern side we could make some ground back. 19-5 now for Shaun. 1.5 minutes left on the clock, and I don't think there's anything we can really do here. Shaun continuing to press forward, trying to pick up flags wherever he can. Potentially this more northern one could go down as well. Just wave after wave of ski Jaeger coming forward now, and look at the number of troops Shaun has got on this field. I think he did an absolute fantastic job of not panicking when he went 16-8 down, because I mean, anyone else, well, not necessarily anyone else, but certainly I think people outside of the top group, and I know I spoke to Shaun after this game. He certainly said that initial attack from myself, it did worry him ever so slightly. I think he was being fairly humble when he said, if that's the right word, when he said that, because I think maybe we slightly phased him a little bit with our initial attack, but I think he's an extremely experienced player, a very good player, and I think he probably wouldn't have doubted his ability to beat me at this game. And when we brought in the 16-8, I think he will have maybe slightly been phased, but I don't doubt that he has utter confidence in his abilities at this game, and will not have been truly pressured by that initial attack. But Shaun gets the victory, and it is a major victory at that. 29 minutes 32 seconds, 24 objectives captured, 2,900 kills to 1,900 losses. But for me, I'm pretty proud of that game, pushing Shaun to a 16-8. That was an utter do or die attack for me in that early phase. I was going to either win this game or I was going to absolutely get trounced. And we saw me get absolutely trounced. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game. I really enjoyed playing that game. Shaun is a balanced player, and myself, I lean more to that balanced playstyle. I'm not necessarily a balanced player, but I do lean more to the balanced income and a longer playstyle rather than the short, sharp attacks that, you know, Gonzo and others put in. We certainly didn't see that today, but I lean towards that playstyle. But before I entered this game, I knew from all the casts we've done, the position that Shaun is in Group 1 at the moment, really only Gonzo stands in his way, and I knew I wasn't going to beat Shaun in a stand-up 1v1 fight. So my idea was take it to him in a different way, and we certainly attempted that. The rush that we made down south, we captured absolutely so much ground, but we sustained just unbelievable losses in that attack, and I think that's what won Shaun the game. His micro is absolutely immense. He has the ability to micro infantry all the way across the map and make decisions at exactly the right time. I mean, choosing to turn off the AP on those Pak 36-37 guns, I mean, it's a no-brainer when you're in like 800 meter range of tanks. But we say it's a no-brainer, but when you are on that battlefield, microing units all the way across the map, to be able to spot that you need to turn off the AP on the Pak 36-37 so they engage with the the heat rocket shells, and then when the M10s came into range, he re-engaged the AP shells to fire at them at range once the Pak gun had been spotted. I mean, absolutely immense micro. The way he took out those two IS-2s at the very start of the game, he had a I'm trying to remember here. One was taken out with the rocket shells from the IS-2, from the Pak 36-37 like we've been talking about. And then the second one with the Panzerschreck rush up the side while engaging with the Sturm Panzer KV-2 from one angle. And then coming in with the double Panzerschreck from the other angle. I mean, that was an absolute blow to my attack. Losing those two IS-2s, I think if, in hindsight, having watched this replay previously in the cast by Rangru and Khan, and casting it again today, you know, in hindsight, if I'd have kept those IS-2s a bit further back, potentially there would have been a lot more meat on the attack in that southern side after the initial land grab, and those IS-2s would have been difficult for Shaun to get through. So I think in hindsight, if we'd have been a bit less careless with those IS-2s, maybe we'd have had a better chance of holding on to our positions. But I mean, Shaun, an absolute fantastic player. Another point to highlight, the way that he set up that trap in the middle area for that third IS2, the way that he pushed that pack 40 down into the side shotting area and waited for that IS2 to trundle up the road until it was in a position to side shot, and then the pack 40 opens up along with the T3485, or sorry, no, along with the pack 3637, along with the Stug 3G, three different points of fire all on that IS2. I mean, an IS2 commander, where do you turn? He turned to face the pack 40, which was probably the correct threat, but the Stug 3G, you know, in a position to side shot, get the kill. Absolute beautiful macro play, beautiful micro play, and what a fantastic player Shaun is. Let's look at the kills for Shaun. The Ski Stern Fusiliers, we saw them at the very start of the game. Some nice kills, 2 Saparis, 1 Strokey, and it's probably this unit here, Stefan. It took me a hell of a long time to get rid of that Ski Stern Fusilier. Absolute hell of a long time. The Stern Panzer KV2 only picks up an Ognomachiki kill, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of it. Look at this Ski Jäger here, 4 Ognomachiki kills. That's probably in the southern side. Once they've gotten into the town, they can't really stand up against, or potentially it might have been more at range. Either way, it was probably out of the 100-meter range where those Ognomachikis went down. The Ski Panzerschreck destroying the IS-2 Komrotti. Beautiful play in the pack 36-37, getting the rocket attack on the other IS-2. Beautiful play. Skirm Ski Jäger, look at this. 4 Tanko Dissaniki, a Strokey and a Strokey DP kill. Like I said, the Ski Jäger infantry, certainly not as good as the 78 Sturm, but still very good infantry. Very good infantry. The Dornier 217s, this was a threat that I never dealt with until the end of the game, and they took out a few decently key units. I mean, these M2A1s were holding a northern flag for me, and the 52P, obviously, you know, exceptional fire support. Look at this pack 36-37 kill. 2 T34s, 4 M10s, beautiful play, and that was the unit that was originally on heat shells, and then switched back onto the AP shells. So fantastic micro, like I said earlier. The Sturmski Jäger take out the Strokey Tankos and Strokey DPs. The second KV2 comes in, takes out an M10. Again, not fantastic, but did enough, and certainly towards the end, a lot of kills, 1 for 1. But yeah, I think those early IS-2 kills potentially allowed Shaun to come back a lot more aggressive, because I think if those IS-2s would have still been on the field, maybe he would have not been able to be quite as aggressive coming back into the game as he was. You know, maybe he would have done anyway. Even if those IS-2s maybe stayed on the field, you know, do not underestimate Shaun. He is a much better player than me, so I'm saying these might have given me a better shot, but even with these on the field, I feel like he probably could certainly have beaten me anyway. Like I said, I think in a 1v1 fight, just, you know, balance versus balance, deck versus deck, man versus man, micro versus micro. In a 1v1 fight, Shaun definitely would have won that game. So we attempted something different, and it didn't work out for us, but I think it was a valiant attempt. So, second semi-final is finished. Shaun wins against AngryBird, and the final is set. Here, Robert versus Shaun, and that is going to be, I mean, 2 top players. I think looking at the 8 players starting the tournament, I think you'd put your money on Shaun, Amber T or Herobert being in the final. So for 2 out of 3 of them to make the final, I think that's where the money would have been. So yeah, it is kind of as predicted, but that means that we will get to see the best players duke it out or brawl it out on Brest in the final. However, before we get to that, we have the bronze match, the third place playoff. Myself, AngryBird versus Gun in the third place playoff. Look out for that match tomorrow. Earlier in the week I miscounted on matches, so what we're going to do is we've got the third place playoff coming up tomorrow, and then we're going to have the finals, the day after. So that should be Monday. Hopefully, if I've counted right. So the third place playoff tomorrow, that's Sunday, and then the final on Monday. Look forward to them. Hopefully you've enjoyed the cast. I definitely enjoyed playing this one. I definitely enjoyed casting this one. And good luck to Shaun and Robert in the final. Thanks very much for watching. I will catch you tomorrow with more Brawl on Brest action. I am AngryBird. I will see you then.